In this video, I'll show you just how easy and important it is to get fresh fluid in the transmission and final drive of your BMW R1200C. Most bikes don't even have final drives, and they get transmission fluid services automatically every time you change the engine oil because they share the same fluid. Now, to be perfectly clear on the service interval for these, we'll go to the service manual. Now, there shows an annual service. This list of items does not include either the transmission or the final drive. 24,000 miles recommends changing the final drive fluid or every 2 years. But then there's a section on every 2 years, and that shows only change transmission oil. The important thing to remember is this is absolutely not confusing. This job is as easy as it is cheap, so how about we keep it simple and change the transmission, final drive, and engine oil at the same time, and I recommend 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Now here's the things you're going to need to get the job done. You've got an extension for a 14mm hex. You'll need that for the drain plug on the transmission, and you're going to have crush washers. Now, I find it a lot simpler and actually cheaper to just buy a full set like this. It includes all the sizes you need for the bike. And you're also going to need a 6 and 8mm hex for the fill plugs. And wherever you have crush washers, you do need a torque wrench. We've got some BMW fluids here. You can use this in either the final drive or the transmission. This would be transmission only, the 75-140, but I use those in the cars. I'm showing you these to show you this is how I made this tool. I made this tray from one of the empty containers from this oil. This is the fluid I actually use. Based on personal experience, I've had good luck with this. It meets all the necessary specs for both the final drive and the transmission. And where are these things located? Well, you can see the transmission easily on the side here. The access is also very good to the final drive. You might want to remove your rear cargo case on the right side. This is where the transmission drain plug is underneath here. And you cannot get that 14mm hex in there because of the exhaust shield. So take a 15mm, loosen up the exhaust shield, and just rotate it straight down. Now you can get the socket on there, especially with an extension, but you don't want to do that yet. First thing we want to do, of course, loosen the fill plug. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's a little bit tight, it's not too bad. And actually, I want to have a look inside of here, check the level, see if we have a leak. Looks like the level's good. Of course, we're on a side stand, so nothing's coming out, but that does look like a good level anyway. Now we can remove the drain plug. And this is why we do fluid changes. It's also why we use magnetic drain plugs. It's our only defense. We have no filter in this transmission. When we look at this, this doesn't even look like this vehicle had the break-in interval for fluid change. With 8,700 miles, that's a fair amount of metal. Anyway, the fluid also looks pretty bad. Looks like the surface of Jupiter there. So how do we get that much metal off a magnetic drain plug? You need a stronger magnet. So it's a rare earth magnet to the rescue. I got about 90% off quickly using a rare earth magnet. The rest wiped off easily. So now we've got a clean drain plug. We're ready to torque it on. And this is where it's going to go. Make sure the surface is clean. So we'll put a torque on there, and be sure to check the video description for all the torques and specs and everything you need to get the job done. This is 40 foot-pounds. Capacity is 800. I got a little over 900 in this fill bottle. And with the bike on the side stand, we're going to be able to get all 900 in there without any spillage. And we'll keep this leveling tray down here. And this is a great way to get the correct level. Now when I lift the bike off the stand and level it out, excess will automatically drain out and give us the exact fluid level that we are supposed to have. Once that's done, we can pull the leveling tray out. We're ready to put a fresh crush washer on our fill plug. The torque on the fill plug is 17 foot-pounds, and I didn't film that, but make sure you get the correct torque on there. And now we can rotate our exhaust shield back into place and tighten that down. And now we're ready to move on to the final drive. And this fill plug was a bit of an example of why we always want to loosen that fill plug before we drain the fluid out. This was a bit of a troublemaker here, but it did come off, and once it came off, we could see the fluid level in there. Didn't show any signs of a leak. Crush washer was stuck a little bit, but it came off. So now we're ready to drain the fluid out. Fluid in here was pretty darn black. So I'm going to guess that this final drive fluid has also not been changed on this vehicle yet. Crush washer came off fine, and the drain plug's magnetic, just like the transmission, but it looked fine, cleaned up easily, no metal particles. So we can put a fresh crush washer on there and torque it down to 17 foot-pounds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure some of this fluid into a more accurate container. The capacity is 180 mils. I'm going to put about 190 in this container. Now we can just fill it up with a funnel. We don't need any special tubes. Once the level's where you like it, You can put a fresh crush washer on that fill plug and put a torque on there, 17 foot-pounds. And be sure to check out my oil and filter change video for the same bike. And you're almost done. Now you can just give a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. And to help out anybody else trying to do this, please do share this video. Thanks for watching.